Hi Flosstube, this is Jenny McStitcher. It's Saturday, September 14th, 2019. This is my 6th Flosstube video. Thank you so much for visiting with me today. Welcome to anybody new who happens by, and thank you for returning if you're returning viewers. And this has been so much fun making these videos. I originally started making them to be a distraction because I was stressed out about an upcoming surgery, and I'm happy to report that my surgery has happened. It did kind of like suck my summer up, I'll be honest, and that's why it's been so long since my 5th video, but it's behind me and I'm feeling fine. My voice is back. My scar is like, you're dead at 4, kind of like a badass kind of like scar. It's gonna fade. It's gonna get less ropey, or so I'm told. So I'm all good now. I feel great. I feel 100 times better. I had a left lobe thyroidectomy, so I still have a right side. I wasn't sure if it was going to play out that way, but that's how it is. So I have a very good chance that my right thyroid lobe will do the work of a whole thyroid, and I won't need long-term medication and stuff like that. Fingers crossed. I won't know that for another, I think 3 weeks. I'll find out how it's functioning. It takes a little while to determine that. I'm not sure what the science is there, but it takes a little while. Yeah, so I'm 3 weeks or something like that post-op, and I've been stitching. I've been off work. I've been off work for the whole 3 weeks. I go back on Monday. I'm looking forward to going back to work because it's not a good time of year to be overly idle. The fall is a busy, brisk, cool air, leaves changing, everything is fresh and feels new, and everybody's doing interesting things, and I'm just waiting to go back to work. So believe it or not, I'm legitimately looking forward to it. I love my job, so that helps. So that's Monday. I've been stitching at my trailer. I've been stitching at home. I've been reading. I haven't been singing. My singing voice is terrible right now, like laughable. I've been reading the new Margaret Atwood book and other books. I've been listening to audiobooks. I've been watching TV. I've been just chilling like a villain. It's been pretty sweet. I'm going to try to make this quick because I'm going to try to make a second part of the video over at my mom's house, which I promised. So I'm going to try to keep this section to 15-20 minutes and then maybe add 10 minutes over at her house later today. So that's my hope. We'll see how it plays out. So I better get right into it. All right, so since I saw you last, I've had 3 finishes. 3 finishes, pretty good. One of them was almost finished last time we met, and I will show you that one straight away. That is Yule Queen by the Primitive Hare. Ta-da! Now, I love this. This is stitched on Silk Weaver's linen, and I don't remember the color. I'd have to watch a previous video to tell you what color it is. It's very pretty. I think it worked well with this design. I wasn't 100% sure, but I think it does work. Sometimes you just, my LNSs don't carry all the hand-dyed varieties that are out there, so I kind of take what I can get. I don't like buying fabric online. I only like buying it when I can see it. I'm sure that there's nothing wrong with buying it online, but it's just, I just want to see it. Because I don't always love the modeling, although I'm getting more comfortable with it. So yeah, I'm very happy with that one. My second finish also happens to be Primitive Hare, which is just a coincidence. This one is Primitive Hare Fox. Now, this is on the 30 count hand-dyed linen that Isabella sells in her Etsy shop, which is a page of the diary of Anne Boleyn. And I thought that I love animals so much, so as soon as I saw this box, I couldn't resist. Second finish. Those were both Mania starts. This next one was not a Mania start. This one I started the day after my surgery. I was so loopy on Tylenol 3, I couldn't even see straight. And I sat down in my stitchy chair and I thought, I'm going to start me something new. Well, I was just loopy enough to decide on 1 strand of floss over 2 fabric threads, which I've never done before. I've tried before, but I haven't ever liked the look of it. I like a thicker coverage. So I thought, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to try something new, and I probably wasn't with it enough to stop myself. And I am so glad that I did it, because I'm a convert. I love it. And I'm going to keep doing one thread over 2 strands. Other way around. One strand over 2 threads. There it is. This is Salt Box 1, Spring Salt Box 1 from Plum Street Samplers. This is my first Plum Street piece. And I'm going to do more. It's so cute. It's so delicate. It's so tiny. It's smaller than a regular Polaroid. It's sort of in between the regular Polaroid size and those new mini ones. I think it's as cute as a button. And I was worried when I was stitching the white section, I was worried that it wasn't covering well enough. But as I said, when you're a little loopy, you don't second guess yourself as much. It took away my inhibitions. So thank goodness for Tylenol 3. I guess alcohol could have the same effect, but I was avoiding that. Okay, so now I have 3 whips to show you. Those are my 3 finishes. Now I have 3 current whips. 1, 2, 3. Yes, all of these were in one way or another Mania starts. So the first one that I want to show you is Rosewood Manors. This is my first Rosewood Manor piece. Baskets. I was given this chart and the thread pack of Valdani threads. I was given this as a birthday gift for my my most recent birthday. So I held on to it and started it a few months later in May. And here it is. Ta-da! Now, during my Mania start on it, I think I finished quite a few, maybe 4 of these YMCA guys. YMCA. And then I finished that row of those and then stitched that Venus flytrap guy. This, probably since I've been off sick, was one of the things I've been working on lately. So I'm very happy with that. This is a 28 count Picture This Plus linen in Wren color. I'm pretty sure that's what's called for. Again, I take what I can get and what I think will look all right. And it's all the same, all called for Valdani threads in three strands of floss, which looking at this now, it looks a little chunky compared to that little salt box house, but also nice. That's the beauty of this. Sometimes the thin coverage is nice and sometimes the thick coverage is nice. Whatever, right? Whatever. Okay, so my next thing is the Linens and Threads Mystery Stitch Along. I think I need a board for this, so let me just grab that board. This is Linens and Threads 2019 Stitch Along, and I am fully caught up. I have shown this before on my Flosstube channel, and I, as I said, I'm fully caught up even with the September installment, which I just finished yesterday or the day before. So there we go. This is on charcoal gray linen. I think that's just this Weigart factory dye. I don't think that's like an over dyed or anything. And the fiber, I think you call it fiber when it's silk, not floss, that I chose is Silken Colors in Lavender Tea, which I think is very, very lace-like and pretty. It looks more lace-like than it might have looked with another design because of all the tendrils on the plants and the back stitching in the corner pieces and the sort of featheriness of the peacock. That was just a fluke. That was just a lucky fluke because I wanted it to look lacy, but lots of designs wouldn't have looked lacy. They would have just looked maybe ghost-like or something. So I'm very happy with that, and it's called Lavender Tea. It's just sort of like a creamy white, but if you look at it from certain angles, you do see a little hint of the lavender. And I need one more. It's two strands of the silk floss over two fabric threads. So it's taking up more floss than I think I've bought 5 skeins of that silk, which is $10 per skein. That's adding up. but can't take it with you, right? All right, so my third whip, also a Mania start. I've shown this before too. This is with Cottage Garden series Simplicity. This is number 9. So I have in my stash I have numbers 1 through 10. I've finished 2 of them, and I'm going to finish this soon. I'm going to keep stitching this now until I'm finished it, and then I have the 11th piece waiting for me at Gita's in Port Credit, and I have the 12th. I've just seen a sneak preview for it yesterday, and it's very cute. So that will probably be available in shops within the next month or so. So I'm very happy with this one. I think it's very cheerful. Here's Simplicity. Sorry, I'm waving it around a bit. It's a bit crinkly, but there it is. When I showed you this before, I think I had just gotten the word Simplicity finished, and maybe this house, maybe this daisy, not this daisy. So yeah, this little yellow section up here will be a goldfinch soon enough. And as I said, I'm going to keep stitching this now until it's done. That's my plan, and now I'm saying it, so it's going to happen. Simplicity. Now here is this whip here is I started this last year, and it's a big one. It will be a big one. Right now it's just a medium one. So this is a chatelaine design, and I have done chatelaines. I have done a chatelaine. I did the Alpine Gardens chatelaine, which hangs over my mom's fireplace mantle and is very, if I do say so myself, amazing. Because I did it exactly as it was charted, and the designer of these pieces was absolutely brilliant and complex. And if you buy all the recommended stuff, the floss, they're so shimmery and beautiful and beaded, absolutely gorgeous. So this is the Irish mandala, and I haven't got very far. This is the only side motif. The rest, everything else is blank, but that gives you an idea of how big it's going to be. So that section in the middle is going to be a well. It's very heavy beaded. These are sort of like lily pads, and I wish I had the cover art to show you. Okay, the reason I put this away was because right here you will see is a horse, sort of like where a horse was, and I had stitched this over one very detailed, sort of like a Shetland pony, and it had a gorgeous mane, and it just like with long stitches, and it was a stunner, and I had positioned it wrong, so I had to frog it. And if you've ever frogged one over one sections, it takes almost longer to frog a 1 over 1 section than it takes to stitch it in the first place. So I lost the stitchy bug on this because I was frustrated. But thank goodness I frogged it before I put it away, because you know how it goes. If you don't frog it before you put it away, and then you have to frog it when you pull it out, you may not. It might never get stitched. So at least there's that. I had that much, insight into my own style. So I'm thinking now that I've shared this, the stitchy bug for it might come back even more. It's definitely there some, but I need it to come back more because I'm heavily invested. Like I think the kit, the pack, the accessory pack or whatever from European Cross Stitch, I think it was like $300 US. So I'm gonna get back to it. Okay. I had the opportunity, since I've been on my sick leave, to drive to Montreal. I didn't do the driving because I couldn't shoulder check very well, but I did as a passenger. I drove to Montreal and stopped at the Brighton Beach LNS, Knowledge and Needles. I found out about Knowledge and Needles from the Hamilton Stitch-In Facebook group. They were having an open house and people were talking about it on there, and I thought, I've never heard of Knowledge and Needles. And I love brick and mortar shops. I don't love online shopping, as I've said. I really like rummaging around in little shops. So I stopped in at Knowledge and Needles in Brighton, Ontario, and the lady, I had to spend a very short period of time because we were on a road trip and we had a distance to travel. The lady who owns that shop, I forget her name just now, absolutely lovely. She even opened the doors early for me. She had some carriage house sampling charts and a lot of other things that you see are popular on Flosstube channels. So I rummaged around and very quickly picked a carriage house samplings Hawk-Run Hollow chart. It isn't the one I most wanted, but it is the one she had. A year at Hawk-Run Hollow. And I'm super excited about starting this at some point and doing sort of like a block at a time. I love it. I love it. I'm excited about it. Even though it wouldn't have been my first choice for Hawk-Run Hollow, I'm glad that I got it because it's not the most obvious choice, but I think I can personalize this slightly to make it a little more Canadian. For instance, the 4th of July block will have to be Canada Day block. And the Thanksgiving being in November will have to be changed. I'll stick with Halloween in October. I'll forget about Thanksgiving. And I will make November something November-y. So there's 2 things that are November-y. One of them is my daughter's birthday. I can have a stork delivering a baby in a stork sling. Or I could have some poppies from Flanders Field, or something like that. I'm not sure. Poppies or Flanders Fields, crosses, those kinds of things for Remembrance Day. So if anybody has done this chart, has done this pattern and they've substituted anything for Canadian, let me know. Maybe even substitute blocks are out there already. I haven't really dug around online to see if that's true. But anyway, I'm really excited to start that. I have the linen for it. It's just a piece of white linen, so I'm going to do some dyeing maybe later today and get that. I'm going to start thinking about that. Anyway, so that's my only haul item. I did buy a couple of colors of floss, but those aren't very at this same shop. But those are just because that's why I went over, because I needed a week's color for my simplicity that Gita's didn't have in stock. So, but that kind of haul isn't worth hauling out and showing. Anyway, the other thing I've been working on, nice and mindless, since I've been on my my recovery time, is a little crocheted scarf. I don't do a ton of crochet, but I do get in the mood for crochet in the fall. And it's so nice to sit and do something so repetitive, I find. Yeah, so I think I'm going to just call it here. It's only 18, 19 minutes. That's perfect because I'm going to try to add about 10 minutes at my mom's house. So if all goes well, I'm going to see you. It'll be a second for you, but it'll be like an hour for me. I'm hoping that my mom's cool with this. Okay, talk to you soon. Thank you. Hi, I'm back. So I've had a little visit with my mom, and I pulled a bunch of pictures off of her wall, maybe 6 or something like that. I'm just going to take a few minutes to show these to you, and then I'm going to head home because I'm losing my voice between the earlier video and the visiting. I'm done talking, so I'll get right into it. Some of these I won't know who the designers were, and I won't maybe know too many details, but I'll do my best. Okay. So this one was, I think, a leaflet that had a bunch of English cottages, and my sister and I chose 4, and she did 2 of them, and I did 2 of them, and I'm not 100% sure which of us did which cottages. I would, if I had to guess, I would say I did the 2 outside ones, and she did the 2 inside ones. But I can't say that for sure. Let's see. I definitely did this one. I remember doing that one. But I don't remember any others. So that's kind of neat. And the reason I don't remember is because we did that in the spring of 1994. And we gave that to the world's best mother because we were the world's best daughters. Or so we thought. Okay, so that's a little one. Here's another little one. This one I did myself. This one is a Victoria Sampler design. Butterfly Garden. I think that says backwards. So there's a little bit of hard hanger there, a lot of different kinds of stitches, and a gazebo at the top. I like the gazebo design because when I got married in a gazebo. So I guess I have a thing for gazebos. Okay, so I'm gonna have to be very careful here that these don't fall over. I might move over a smidge. Okay, so this one was my mom's Christmas present last year, and I really love the way this one turned out framed. This is my own stitching. This is Shakespeare's Fairies. This is a Mirabilia. I think it's a Mirabilia. And I love the Chinese lanterns in here, and I just love the fabric. The original fabric that was called for was a bit mossy looking. It looked great with the color of the lanterns. I think it was sort of opposite to the orange of the lanterns in the color wheel, and it would have been great, but I just wanted something that looked a little smooshier and a little bit darker, and I was pretty happy with the way this turned out. So that's my Shakespeare's Fairies. And I think I've mentioned to you I've done a lot of literary inspired pieces, and this is one of them. So I'll just put that down gently. Ta-da! And this next one was stitched by my sister in, let's say, 1992. It says it right on there. She was very good at putting dates and initials on her work. I'm not so good at that. Isn't that beautiful? So she did do a few samplers. I haven't done samplers. But this one I think is very pretty. I love the house at the bottom and the field, and the trees look they look sort of like they're in motion almost, like a breeze. And the pineapple is a welcome symbol, right? So that's very nice. I would do something like that for sure. She did this on Ada. I just looked at that and realized. So in 1992, she would have been in her 20s. So that was probably an early large piece for her, because she did move over from Ada to linen. And here's an example of that. Okay, this is an English cottage sampler, I think it's called, by Teresa Wentzler. And this is stunning. So when my sister did this, she finished it in 1999. I don't know when she started it. And I just thought it was magical with all the beads. I don't know if you can see those beads, but there's tons of beading in that archway all around. And I just thought, oh, I could never do anything so intricate. So that was, this definitely hangs in a place of honor here. It's stunning. I think there's a companion piece to this I've thought about doing for my mom, but I almost don't want to, because this shines so bright as it is, and I don't want to mess with that. Oops. If I broke that, there would be hell to pay. Okay, and here is the one I mentioned earlier. This is my Alpine. It's very thin, isn't it? My Alpine Seasons chatelaine. Alpine Garden, Alpine Seasons, I think. So there it is. Now, I don't know how much you can tell. There's a lot of beads in there. There's probably a bajillion beads in there. That's too close. I almost fell over. So there's that. I tried to show you too close up. It's better far back. So this was also professionally framed with 2 mats because of the depth of the beads. I think if I took that to the framers again, I might reduce the size of the matting just to keep the overall size down. The stitched area is about 17 by 17, and so the framed area has got to be, like, I think it's got to be 21 or 22 square. So this hangs over the fireplace. It looks very plain down there without this one, because it takes up so much space. So there we go. Alpine Seasons. I didn't put anything on the back. I should. Because one of these days, since there's no initials on the front, you know, I should just do that. I'll put this behind me. So that's my mom's sewing room. Sorry it took me so long to get over here and record this, but I could have done it any time, but it sort of took time. Anyway, that warmed me up. I had to turn off the fan because it was casting like a weird light in here. Like I was in an interrogation room or something. So now it warmed up fast. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Have a great weekend. Happy stitching.